Americans voted in the last presidential election. In Chile, 35% of their residents are on Facebook. In Israel, 32.5%. By the way, 1 out of every 8 people on the planet have a Facebook account. And in the Bahamas, 30.5%. I don't know about you, but if I were in the Bahamas, I think I'd be doing something besides be on Facebook. Maybe I'd be on the beach with a laptop on Facebook. But you get the idea. All right. Here's your second opportunity. Now that we've mastered that ability to do the polling on our cell phones, please text to 22333 which you believe is the largest photo sharing site on the web. Among the choices Flickr, Picasa, Facebook, or PhotoBucket, which do you think is the most popular photo sharing site on? They're all popular, but which one do you think is the most popular? Like I told you, this is a very smart group. Yes. As the votes are coming in, you've got it. Facebook. Facebook is the largest photo sharing site on the web. Let's take a look at the years to reach 50 million users. For the radio, it took 38 years. For television, 13 years. For the internet, 4 years it took to reach 50 million users. For the ubiquitous iPod, 3 years. Facebook has added 100 million users in just the last 9 months. Are you getting the idea here? Which is the fastest growing segment among Facebook users? Would you say it's high school kids? How about maybe college students? By the way, 85% of all college students have a Facebook profile. But what do you think? Most popular, most fastest growing segment on Facebook is what? Yes, this is a smart group. Females 55 to 65. Why? The average Facebook user spends an hour a day at the site. It's the only way they can keep up with their family, right? The kids, the grandkids, all those photos. Sure. I think you're seeing why this is so important to have a presence on Facebook. Now, there's 2 different ways you can represent yourself on Facebook. First of all, we have to have a personal profile. Who does have a Facebook profile? Look around the room. This represents a person. And then you have friends. One of the beauties of Facebook over email is that you pick who you want to communicate with. As opposed to on email, up to 90% of email is what? Spam. Right, where you can have a closed network of your friends on Facebook. Then, once you establish a page, once you establish a profile for yourself, for your business, you can have a page. 48%, according to a recent survey, 48% of all small businesses have a Facebook page. Who has a Facebook page for your organization? Look around the room. Unlike creating your own website, which may require the skills of a webmaster, it's as easy as typing an email, and it's absolutely free. The page represents a business. It's an open network because you want to try and get as many fans, as they used to be called, as you possibly can. So people have profiles. Businesses have pages. For those of you who don't yet have a Facebook page. By the way, here's a question for you. All right, Ted, we already have, who has a website for their organization? Why in the world should I also have a Facebook page? Why do you think? What possibly could be the benefit? Free advertising? Well, think of this. A website, you go to a typical website, it tells you how great the organization is. Let me tell you how wonderful we are. You go there once, you have never a reason to go back, right? As opposed to Facebook, the average user is spending an hour a day at the site. You can interact with people. It's engagement. You're constantly updating it. As opposed to many web pages. Websites are simply brochureware. You know, the last time it was updated was 1997. So, if you would is that your website? Okay. Here are the 7 steps to setting up your page on Facebook. First of all, of course, register for a Facebook account. If you don't have a Facebook page, go ahead and write this down. Then, as your next step, after you get a profile or a personal account, then you want to create a page. And that's as easy as clicking the Create a Page button or going to www.facebook.com/pages. The third step is to upload a picture, provide basic information, and customize the look and feel of your page. Use a large, high-resolution logo for your picture of your organization, and then make it more entertaining. Who has gone to one of those restaurants where you go to the back wall and they have photographs and sayings from various celebrities to kind of give it a fun and festive appeal? That's the same thing you want with your Facebook page. You want funny quotes, brand trivia. Fourth, Facebook and social media is all about engagement. So you want to add engaging content and opportunities for interaction. So to inspire engagement, have polls, petitions, games, contests. According to a 2001 survey by Jupiter Research, what % of people go to the internet at least once a month to enter a contest? Toss out a number. What do you think? 49%. Half of people go and enter sweepstakes online. Why? Because people like stuff that's right. Slideshows, another thing you can do to inspire engagement. Surveys. And then recruit early fans. You know, it's not simply build it and they will come, right? You have to get people engaged. So become a fan of your own page and then recruit your employees. Can you imagine if on each of your employees' email address you had a link to your Facebook page? That's a way to inspire engagement. Get your friends to become fans and your acquaintances. Recruit early fans because you want to make it feel like it's dynamic and it's in high demand. Everybody's going to your page. Then sixth, promote your page to get even more fans. You could use Facebook ads to do that. You could also include a link to, as we mentioned, your email signatures on your website and in your blogs, as well as your email newsletter. And a seventh step. What do you think the number one reason why people unsubscribe from blogs is? What do you think? The content isn't updated often enough. Once again, like those websites, they just go stale. So regularly update content and respond to posts. Refresh your content with dynamic news, surveys, contests, photos, articles, announcements. But remember, multimedia videos are best. What is the second largest search engine on the web behind Google? YouTube. People, in addition to loving stuff that's free, like Dan said, people access, actually the term is consume videos. Let's wrap up with some advice from Mark Zuckerberg himself. And he's likely to have the largest IPO in history next month. Here's what Mark has to say. He said in the last 100 years, the way to advertise was to get into the media and push out your content. Well, in the next 100 years, information just won't be pushed out to people. It'll be shared among the millions of connections that people have. Advertising will change. You need to get into these connections. I thought this was really scary. There's Mark Zuckerberg, founder and CEO of Facebook at 23. There's Bill Gates at 23. He's back. All right. I'm actually going to wrap up. I have 5 minutes left, right, Sharon? Okay. Wrap up with a little quiz. I'm going to suggest to you that we all listen to the same radio station. We all have the same favorite station. And to prove my point, I'm going to go off on a limb here and take a quick survey. Your favorite radio station is what?
WHUR.
And what are they? I used to live in D.C., but I don't remember. What format is that?
It's music.
Music?
So, contemporary.
Contemporary music? Okay. And you, sir, that's your favorite station, Michael?
99.5.
And what's that?
It's more pop.
More pop? Okay, I'm dying up here. Felipe, what do you like to listen to?
DC 101.
And what's that?
That's rock.
Rock, okay. Rock, Ron?
Listen to sports radio.
Da-da-da, da-da-da. All right. Dan?
WMZQ Country.
Country. You know, I was in Texas recently, and I was listening to a country station down there, and one of the listeners called in and requested a song for her ex-boyfriend. My Give-A-Damn's Busted. Have you heard that? Great song, great song. And your favorite station song?
97.3.
And what's that? Pop. Okay, maybe I should quit while I'm behind. I said we all have the same favorite station. Now, Jody Beth actually told us what our favorite radio station was this morning. Anybody remember? WIIFM, What's in It For Me? It's the little radio station that plays in our heads all day long. We look at every situation to see how it's going to benefit us. If it does, we pay attention. If not, we tune it out. The interesting thing is everybody else, especially our customers and clients, work exactly the same way. Who has teenage sons and daughters besides me and Dan? The other day I was riding along with my 7'2" son, Dan, and I started to say something I swore I would never ever say when I was your age. And I could just see Stephen's eyes roll to the back of his head because he doesn't care about the old man's good old days. Stephen, when I was your age, we could buy a new car for $5,000. Well, it's great, Dad, but you never bought one for me. I know that if I want to bond with my son, I got to talk about what? What interests him, which happens to be video games. And I don't know about you, but I'm still stuck on Pong from the 70s, Michael. So I had to brush up on Nintendo, Xbox, Game Boy, GameCube, Wii, Kinect. And last week, have you seen this? Last week he was playing a video game with a guitar. Guitar Hero 3. But if I want to bond with him, I'm going to talk about what interests him, not what interests me. But how many of you get sales letters that say something like this? You know, we've been in the nation's capital since 1905. The company was started by my great-grandfather. We have 10,000 installations, 15,000 satisfied clients. So what? Who cares? What's in it for me? Or I used to work. I get emails that would say something like this. I'm so-and-so. I'm in charge of such and such. Our objective is this and that. So what? Who cares? What's in it for me? Delete. In fact, here's a practical tip for you. How many of you are going to have to go back to the office tomorrow and write an email? Okay, you want to judge the effectiveness of that email? When you get done, count up the number of pronouns, the number of I's versus the number of U's. The more U's you have in there, the more what's in it for you to do it my way, the more effective you're going to be. As a matter of fact, Zig Ziglar says, you can get anything you want in this life if you show enough other people how to get what they want. So my final recommendation to you is go back, take a look at your marketing materials, take a look at your website, take a look at your Facebook page, take a look at your brochures. Does it talk about you or does it talk about them? Because all they care about is what? Thank you very much. Dan?